Hi everyone, I'm Myasha, and today I'll be talking about my experience as a Master of Communication co-op student at the University of Ottawa. I worked for two different organizations for my co-op placements, of which the placements lasted 4 months each. My first co-op work term was at the University of Ottawa, where I worked as a digital communications officer for information technology. I worked in the change management and communication team at the Office of the CIO. My team worked closely with other departments within information technology across the campus to implement strategic change management and communication plans for the institution's IT projects. My responsibilities included working as the editor of the IT News Bulletin, creating the IT core vision and values poster, managing the top desk tickets that we had coming in through our departments, creating a communication plan, and updating the IT website and conducting research through surveys. One of my notable tasks was undertaking the IT News Bulletin and Information Technology newsletter that is published once every term. It highlights the ongoing and upcoming IT projects, IT achievements, and it also features partnerships as well as employee spotlights. In doing the task, I was able to gain first-hand experience at strategic communication and understand the many different layers of project implementation. I was able to relate it back to my communication management course that I had done the semester prior to my work placement, where we learned strategic communication as one of the communication schools of thought. Here at Information Technology, I was able to actively employ strategic communication techniques while undertaking the IT News Bulletin. I began by first asking myself what the article for the newsletter would look like and who the target audience would be. The task came to be a cross-departmental collaboration where we spoke, to name a few, the web team, the IT teams from different schools, the research and development team, etc. I then had to schedule meetings with project managers from the teams and ensure I had all the information needed to highlight the projects. While working on the articles, I learned the importance of keeping the target audience in mind. I had to go forward with the assumption that not everyone would be well versed in IT terminology, hence I had to ensure the language was plain and easy to follow, as well as the projects had full descriptions, full detailed descriptions, so that for those who were not well versed, they'd be able to understand the context of the article. The message in each article was framed to highlight that there is a mutual interest on both information technology and the target audience's part. This is one of the strategies used to gain the confidence of the intended audience. Here, it would have been the existing and potential partners, the school's IT collaborators, and so on. Once the IT bulletin was published, I tracked the performance of the article categories to better understand what kind of content our viewers were more drawn towards. During this placement, I was able to experience what it would be like to work under a transformational leadership style. We learned different kinds of leadership styles in the organizational communication course that I did in one of my earlier semesters and was intrigued about how it would play out in the workplace. My manager booked one-on-one meetings to touch base with us weekly, where she encouraged us to take on tasks that would help us gain skills we'd be able to use later on in our careers. This also meant that she was aware and understanding of our individual goals and career ambitions. She provided us with resources and training materials we'd need to advance in the workplace. For my second co-op work term placement, I joined the Canadian Real Estate Association's reputation team. To be more specific, worked in the marketing team as a marketing co-op student. The marketing team worked on projects geared toward two main audiences. One, members who are realtors, either sales agents or brokers, who can own their own brokerage or real estate office and hire other agents, to whom the marketing team promoted the products and services CREA provides, which are primarily funded by members' annual dues. Number two, for consumers, largely prospective home buyers to whom the marketing team promoted realtor.ca via the search engine, and realtor value primarily via the annual national ad campaign. My responsibilities were primarily 3 monthly newsletters, namely the Living Room, Product, and Global Connect. Compared to my previous work placement where communication was mostly horizontal, at Korea, communication was vertical. So my tasks had to go through multiple levels of approvals. Hence, I had to quickly learn to set personal deadlines so I'd have enough buffer time to wrap up the tasks, all approvals included, before the actual deadline rolled around. Most of my work was done on Salesforce Marketing Cloud, a content management platform widely used by organizations for designing and market its contents to target audience. Because the target audience varied for each of the newsletters, I had to ensure the language used was suitable. For example, a real estate agent would be more well versed with the current real estate market, so the content wouldn't necessarily need to be as descriptive, while a member would need more information and context. Similar to my previous work placement, I tracked the send performance of the newsletters and in specific the article categories to ensure we were optimizing the content according to the viewer demand, since essentially the target was to gain as many clicks as possible to increase Korea's online reach by increasing traffic to Korea's website and the mobile app. Here, I experienced a completely different leadership style, that is the laissez-faire leadership style. My manager took on the hands-off approach, where he trusted us with our ability to make independent decisions. This not only helped us gain self-confidence, but also encouraged us to take ownership of the projects that we were doing. For concluding thoughts, just by reflecting on my placements working for 2 different departments, I realized that most of the work we do is collaboration heavy. So a lot of the time, we have to look at the bigger picture and ensure everyone is on the same page, which can be done by building workplace relationships so you're able to rely on the person you will be collaborating with. This also means that it is expected of you that you will be vocal about the timelines you prefer, since successful project completion depends on making those deadlines, and it wouldn't be possible without setting realistic timelines that works for all the members collaborating on a project. So the horizontal communication in this case needs to be open and both ways. Moreover, because the work we do is collaborative, it is important that you are also a team player, because a lot of us, I think, just transitioning from academia into the workplace, it is sort of easy to get carried away with just focusing on individual achievements and individual opportunities. But also, although there is still scope for that, I think at the same time, it is important to realize that a lot of the times, the success of a project depends on being a team player. Lastly, you must come into work with a growth mindset, especially because the field that we're in is constantly evolving. And every other day, organizations are introducing and implementing the use of a new digital platform or tool. So it is important that we are open to taking on the challenge or learning and undergoing the necessary trainings to navigate these digital platforms and tools better. It may be overwhelming at first, but because of the work that we do, it's always good to have picked up navigating different platforms with proper training, because it's highly likely that in a future workplace, we'd be using a similar, if not the same, digital platform or tools. So I'd say hands down, it's always good to have these under your belt.